Hello guys! Hi there and hello. It's Bonita and I am the artist and creator at Teacup Girl. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now today I wanted to finally get back to doing some filming. It has been a very long time since I last did any filming. I checked the footage. March was the last time I filmed anything, and I wanted to try and kind of jump back in to filming YouTube videos, but I kind of want to do it differently this time. I've been getting a bit of feedback that short format videos are kind of the thing for people that are super busy and don't have 30 minutes to watch a person just doing stuff. So that is why I'm going to try my very best to bring you some more shorter format videos. Now, I personally adore long format videos, which is why my videos end up being long format, but I think it's worthwhile the effort of trying to make something a bit shorter and sweeter for people who are super busy, and maybe that will mean that I'm not so bad at putting out videos on a regular basis because I can film them with a shorter format and not spend so long trying to sort out all my footage and edit it, because that actually takes me like a couple of weeks by the time I'm done. So there will be benefits to that, and I hope that means I can get back to filming more regularly on YouTube, and I hope that you enjoy the content I produce. So without further ado, I shall get into the video. Let's go! Hello and welcome to the voiceover section of the video. In this clip, I'm actually prepping the seconds pieces that we sold in our June 2nd sale. And I probably should have mentioned that most of the filming for this vlog was done during June. I was switching between packaging customers' orders and fixing up pieces, getting them ready to send out the door. So I think a lot of people probably don't realize that when I have a second sale, and this is the way it works for Teacup Girl, I can't speak for other brands, but what I do is I have to prep the pieces that I've sold ready to go out. Most of the time when we have seconds, I actually don't finish the piece. So if we find that there's a problem with it halfway through, we're not going to spend the time and the energy to finish off the piece and put good money in that when I don't even know if it's going to sell. So we actually had a bunch of pieces to finish up. We had to put their little badges on so that people knew that they were getting a seconds, and that was all before we could get them ready to send out the door. So yeah, that's what I spent a lot of June doing, prepping pieces and packaging, and it is now time for a pony break. Such an old man, Copper. You're making a mess. Why are you making a mess? I want to see how he handles this. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You flipped it upside down. You gave up? What are you going to do? You're a very clever boy. You can figure out how to toss the bag? No. Are you going to come and ask for some help? You're going to figure it out. I feel like you're going to figure it out. Oh no, you're not going to figure anything out. Oh, you're a funny horse. Why such a grumpy face? Why such a grumpy face? Hey, so I thought I'd check in with you again because right now I am working on a new design. It's called Garden Bouquet, so big surprise, more flowers. And I'm picking some of the colours out for the design and trying to figure out exactly what kind of acrylics I want to use. I do love myself a delicious pastel brooch. However, I thought for this particular design, it could be really nice to offer it in 2 different colorways. So I want to look at doing like a pastel colorway and then like a more bright or saturated colorway. And I'm just trying to pick out what different acrylics and finishes and colors I should use for that, because I vaguely have something in mind, but it's not super settled. So I feel like I have a lot of room to kind of play, because sometimes when I design a piece, I like everything just pops into my head from where to go, exactly how I want it to look, all the acrylics I want to use, how I'm going to even like draw it and design it. Like it's like the design just appears every single line as it should be inside my head sometimes. And then other times it's a lot more of a nebulous process where I'm like slowly feeling my way towards the finished piece. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm working on the vector file on my computer, but I'm also trying to decide what acrylics and colors I actually want to use. So how about I bring you along for that? So here we are. I'm just working with my giant box of, let me hold it up so you can see it better. These are all my acrylic samples. My giant box of acrylic samples. And basically, if you haven't seen these before, an acrylic sample is this. It's a little tiny square of acrylic. It has the name on it usually and the type of finish that it is. And I work with these all the time to determine my color palette and my textures. I have this giant box which just kind of sits here, and at the moment I'm going to work on this space to kind of lay out a color palette. Now, I sort of already started with my pastel color palette, as you can see here. Now, the way I built this was I was thinking one particular part of the design, I already had a color that I wanted to work with, which is this Emu Egg Naturals. And that's just the name it was given by the supplier that I purchased it off. It's not an official name, but it's nice that they have like names like that because it helps us keep them all apart. And I really like this kind of bluey green shade. It's very reminiscent of like silver pine needles or the blue silver gum leaves. So I'm a big fan of this shade, and I knew I wanted that to be my base color. So I started to kind of build it out from around there. I went with some pinks, which I want to use as the main flower. Then I also have this green mineral, which is going to be the leaf for this particular flower. And then I also picked up some kind of ivory white shades because I want that to be the accent flowers around the main thing. Now, if you're wondering what the design actually looks like, this is the design right here. It's, as I said before, called Garden Bouquet. It has a peony flower with some leaves as its main central motif. Then I've got these little kind of, I don't even know what plant they're based off, but like, think like a rosemary type, woody, brushy type plant as kind of accent stems. And then these particular flowers here, I based them off like a wild rose or a dogwood rose. So these three flowers are going to be the same, and they got their little accent leaves there. Now, I don't know if I'm going to use another green for the dogwood yet. I have to think about that because I kind of don't really want to introduce yet another color into the color palette, but at the same time, there are 3 different plants in this, so I might need to do that. And the idea is the peony is going to have this pearlescent pink center, and then the middle petals are going to be this pale pink gloss, and then the outside petals are going to be this pink frosted because I really like the shade, how it's slightly warm. So it's going to have this nice range, I think, for that. So I think I need one more green to finish off the look of this. And I'm going to go back to my samples and, oh yeah, this is going to look really pretty and kind of bridge the gap between those greens. Yeah, I think I like that. So I'm thinking of using the back side of this green marble. So the back and the front, it is a two-sided type of acrylic, simply because on the front we have more of the color and the rich pigment coming through, and then this back has less of the rippling and more of a silvery sheen over it. And I've really been loving using the back side of acrylics that have shimmer and glitter and pigment in them, because it just gives a separate texture and it does change the color hue just very slightly. So that is another way that I like to get different things happening in the piece rather than just using the exact same textures over and over.
This is what it looks like close up. I actually am really loving these colors. Now, this is under nighttime studio lights, so it will look different in the daytime. I just have to do my bright colorway version now. I really like what we've come up with here. We've got these orange shades for the wild or dog rose. We've got hot pink for the peony. We've got these darker bright greens. I'm not sure about whether I'm swapping some of this around, so this might still be an option that pops up. And then this is the final pastels. And side by side, I like that. They're quite a good way to show how this color palette can translate into a brighter, more saturated version of it. I think that looks really good. Tell me what you think. Do you like these colors?
Time for a quick update on these pieces before we get into the final stretches of assembling them. I have had to cut and recut and cut and recut this design, I don't know, way too many times to count. It is actually a literal headache. I had a real issue with these leaves being too prominent in the design. They were overtaking it and just throwing the whole thing off balance. I'll show you quickly what I mean. So as you can see here, this is the older shape of the piece. I have this leaf here which looks very, very large, and surprisingly enough it actually looks okay on camera, which is kind of throwing me, like, for real. But in person, the leaf just looks really large and blobby, and it just takes over the whole design. The proportions and the balance is wrong. So I have been fiddling with this, like, non-stop. And then the other problem is that once I finally got the leaf shape that I wanted, then the whole flower looked wrong. And so I've had to rejig that too. You can see a little bit of my stacking here, trying to figure out exactly what I need to do to make the changes to this piece without making too much extra work for myself of recutting a ton of stuff and redesigning the lines for it. So yeah, this whole process has been a bit of a nightmare. Honestly, I have taken probably about 5 days worth of work on the one design, which is just frankly too long. It's way too long to be spending that amount of time on one piece getting it right. But the thing is, I kind of have a little motto at Teacup Girl, which is, it's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth pushing through all the niggly little annoying things that are wrong with the piece to get it right. And I just can't let it rest. It's like, once I figure out that there's a certain area of the piece that is missing something or is off balance, I can't unsee it. My brain won't let me unsee it and just let it be. I can't do that. So it's irritating, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I wish that, I don't know, this little switch could like just turn off and let it be, because I like go, I've already poured so much time into this piece. I don't want to keep pouring more time into it, but I can't let it go. And in the end, it's usually worth it. It's just the painful process of getting there is actually painful. I'm not gonna lie, I'm so over it. I'm so over this design. And they haven't even released it yet. So that's a thing. That definitely happens. I'm really hoping that I'll fall in love with it again once I've completed it. But I'm so close. I have about 6 sheets to recut for this, and then I can actually do my final assembly, and hopefully that will confirm that I'm where I want to be, and we can go ahead with actually getting production for this design underway. So I need to get on with that, and I'm going to do that right now. Well, that is it from me for this video. Thank you so much for watching to the end. I really appreciate it. It makes a difference to my channel and your support is absolutely amazing. If you like the shorter format of this video, please don't forget to leave a comment down below. Tell me what you liked best about it and maybe leave a thumbs up, that'll do too. And if you want to see more videos from behind the scenes in the Teacup Girl studio, don't forget to hit subscribe and click the notification bell so that you can be informed when more videos come out on the channel. Now, in the spirit of keeping things short, I will wrap it up and see you in the next video. Bye for now.